Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball, the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on January 20th, 2018. I have 7 strategies for my game Decoding the Powerball. So strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, what you're looking at is what I call the game card. This represents all 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the Power Play option. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage, and the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 3, 33, 37, 51, and 57. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list, and then I take the last 3 drawings of numbers and I transfer these numbers over to the game card as red numbers. Then I do the same thing with orange, green, blue, and purple. Okay, so I have 5 different colors, one to represent each one of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So for this drawing here, I have 14 red numbers, 15 orange, 10 green, 16 blue, and 14 purple. And these colors change with every single drawing. Okay, so over here, this 195, this represents how many color code drawings I kept track of so far. And out of this 195, 104 have come up a 3-color combination. 72 have come up a 4-color combination. 16 drawings have come up a 2-color combination, and only 3 drawings out of 195 have all 5 colors come up together. And never has it been just 1 color. Okay, so this number right here, this 3, this tells me how many colors just came up in a lottery. Okay, so you can see that there's 3 orange numbers, a red, and a blue for 3 colors total. Okay, so since hardly ever do all 5 colors come up, the strategy is try to guess which one of these colors won't be coming up and eliminate that group of colors off of the game card. Okay, so for this drawing here, I'm going to guess that no green numbers will be coming up. Okay, and the reason why is because green has been hot from here to here. Okay, so I just think that it's going to miss a couple of drawings. Okay, so again, I'm going to eliminate the green numbers off of the game card. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll to the right. Okay, so this is the game card with no green numbers to it. Okay, so when I block out a number like this, this means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think would be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so if I'm correct with my pick and none of these green numbers come up, then I'm 1 step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so another thing that I'm doing is I'm taking $3 and I'm buying a Powerball ticket, and that's with the Power Play. Okay, so I'm betting $3 that none of these green numbers will come up. Okay, so I'm off to my next strategy. Strategy number 2, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, and how this works is the master for all the numbers are up top. Okay, and the numbers over here, this are the numbers that just barely came up in the lottery. Again, it was the 3, 33, 37, 51, and 57. Okay, so this turns out to be a 3-group combination. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this down so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you'll see that there's 7 groups here total. Okay, so group number 1 holds the numbers of 1 through 9, and then it's the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Again, for 7 groups total. Okay, so there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so 2 of these groups won't be able to have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how I use this is this big square right here. This is good for 5 drawings. Okay, and I like to break things into 5 because it shows me a majority of things. Okay, so here in the individual numbers, why I break things down into 5 is because if there was a lot of hits within this 5 drawings, well, maybe the next 5 drawings won't have so many hits, okay, or vice versa. Okay, so the numbers that I'm going to eliminate out of this is the 50 numbers, okay? And the reason why I'm doing that is because the 50 numbers were really hot right through here. And then there was 3 hits here and 4 hits here now, okay? So there's one more drawing right up here. So I just think that it's going to top out at 4 hits here. So again, I just don't think there'll be a 5th or 6th in this area right here, okay? So again, I'm going to eliminate the 50 numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I just need to blow this back up. I'm going to go back to the game card. I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far. Again, with no green numbers from the color code, and now no 50 numbers from the individual numbers. Okay, so what I'm doing is, again, I'm betting $3 that no green numbers will come up in the color code, and I'm going to parlay that bet with no 50 numbers coming up in the individual numbers. Okay, so I'm going to add a bunch of parlays to this, okay, and I'm going to move on to the next strategy. Strategy number 3, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so I've taken all the numbers and I divided it into 4 different groups, and I put colors to these groups. Okay, so when the 5 white winning Powerball numbers come up, I record where they land within these color groups down here in the stats. Okay, so as I go back to the Powerball homepage, the 5 white winning Powerball numbers were 3, 33, 37, 51, and 57. Okay, so you can see that the 3 is in the red area. So down here, I put a 1 in the red area. There's no winning numbers in the blue area. There's 3 in the orange, and that was the 33, the 51, and the 57. And there was 1 in the green, and that was the 37. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess where these zeros are going to pop up. Okay, because if I could have correctly guessed that none of these blue numbers were going to come up in the last drawing, then I could have eliminated these blue numbers and really reduced the odds for myself. Okay, so how this works, okay, is the 8 shares the square with the 66 here. Okay, so if I were to guess that none of these blue numbers were going to come up, then I would eliminate the 8 and the 66 as a group. Okay, so as I go back to the game card here, you can see that I have these numbers off to the side, okay? And you can see this 8, and again, that shares the square with the 66, okay? So, again, if I was going to eliminate this area here, I would eliminate the 8 and the 66 together as a group, okay? So, the reason why this is off to the side is because of the color code, okay? So, you can see that the 8 is blue and the 66 is purple. Okay, so as I go back to group 1, I have 15 of these option cards, okay? And the reason why I have so many is because I want as many options as possible to guess where these zeros are going to pop up, okay? So my first guess is going to be option card number 5, no green numbers. Okay, so you can see that all these option cards look the same as far as the red, blue, orange, and green. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other from each different option card. Okay, so I like to keep track of all these colors as a group. Okay, and I think that there's going to be a lot of green misses for this drawing. Okay, so all the ones that I picked for this drawing are going to be green numbers. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so again, I think that there's going to be 0 here. And the reason why is because you can see that there's a couple of single zeros, okay? Every once in a while, it will double up, like right here, the 2 zeros in a row, okay? So as I go through here, you can see that there's a bunch of single zeros until it gets down here, okay? So I just think that this is due to double up. So I think there's going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these green numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so I like to show you step by step on how I use my game. Okay, so if I'm correct with my picks, the 5 white winning Powerball numbers should land within one of these colored numbers still on the board. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 1. I'm going to make another pick. Okay, so my next pick is going to be option card number 7, no green numbers. Okay, so here's option card number 7. Okay, so again, I think there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so you can see that there's a bunch of single zeros here. All right, so again, I think it's going to double up like right here. So I think there's going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these green numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the right. Okay, so underneath the game card, you can see this is group 1, option card number 7, no green numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 1, and my next pick is option card number 9, no green numbers. Okay, so the reason why I'm picking this one is mainly because of this 29 right here. Okay, there was 29 hits in a row. Okay, that means one of these green numbers came up in the drawing 29 times in a row. Okay, and then I hit 2, and then I hit 10 and 2, and now I think that this is going to be a short number. Okay, so I think that this will be 6 right here, and again I think there'll be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these green numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so as you can see, I'm whittling down these numbers, okay, step by step. All right, so I'm going to go back to group 1 for one last pick. Okay, so I'm going to pick the option card number 14. No green numbers will come up. So I'm going to go to option card 14. Okay, and the reason why I'm picking here is because this has 12 drawings in a row. Okay, so before that it was 10. Okay, and way before that was 14. Okay, so I just think that this is due. And again, I think there's going to be a lot of green misses. So I think there's going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these green numbers off of the game card. Okay, so as you can see, group 1, option card 14, no green numbers. Okay, so I really got the numbers down here. So if I made all the correct picks, again, the 5 white winning Powerball numbers should land within one of these colored numbers. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. Strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers. Okay, so much like group 1, where I divided things into 4 different groups, here I divided things into 8 different groups. Okay, so again, there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So 3 of these groups won't be able to have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it, and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so again, I have 15 of these option cards, and they all look the same as far as red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other from each different option card. Okay, so how this works is I'm going to point out this red area. I keep the stats for the red right down here. Okay, and here I like to keep track of every 5 drawings, so it shows me a majority of things. Okay, so a 0 right here, this means that none of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers landed within this red area. And of course this 2 right here means that 2 out of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers landed in this red area. Okay, so what I mean by showing a majority is that if there's 3 or more zeros within this 5 drawings, then I color it blue for cold. If there's 3 or more hits, I color it red for hot. So as I go through the history of things, okay, if something has been really hot, well, eventually it will turn cold, okay, or vice versa. Okay, so for this drawing here, I'm going to go with option card number 2, no green numbers, okay? So here's option card 2. All right, here's the stats for green. And as we go through the history of things, you can see that it got really hot right here. And now I think it's just going to cool off, okay? So as you can see, this is 4 drawings right here, okay? This is the last drawing. And you can see that it's even of 2 hits and 2 misses, okay? So I just think that this is going to be blue. So I think there's going to be a 0 right here, okay? So I'm going to eliminate these green numbers off of the game card. Okay, so now it's going to scroll to the left. Okay, and down below you can see group 2, option card number 2, no green numbers. Okay, so here you can see no green numbers here. Okay, so I'm getting the numbers down. So I'm going to go back to group 2. And my next pick is going to be option card number 7, no brown numbers. Okay, so again, I have 15 of these option cards. So here's option card number 7. Okay, so here's the stats for the brown. And as I go through, you can see that it was kind of 50-50, hot and cold. Okay, but this was 4 drawings in a row here. So I just think that this is going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these brown numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the left. Okay, so down here you can see option card number 7, no brown numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 2 for one last pick. Okay, and this is option card number 9, no purple numbers. Okay, so here's the stats for purple right here. So as I go through, you can see that it was pretty hot. Okay, and now I think that this is going to be blue right here. Okay, so here it is again as 2 misses and 2 hits. So what's it going to be? Is it going to be red or blue? I think it's going to be blue. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate these purple numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the left. And this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so again, I started off with 69 white ball numbers, and now I got it down to 6. Okay, so if I'm correct with all my picks, then the 5 white winning Powerball numbers should land within these 6 numbers right here. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. Strategy number 5, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the 50-50 picks. Okay, so again, there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so there's going to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side. Okay, so I'd like to keep track of that and try to guess what the majority will be for the upcoming drawing. Okay, so this 239, this represents how many drawings I kept track of so far. And that's since October 7th, 2015. That's when the Powerball lottery went from 59 numbers to 69 numbers. Okay, and out of this 239 drawings, 119 drawings have been the majority of odd numbers, and 120 have been the majority of even numbers. Okay, so here I like to keep track of every 5 drawings as well. You can see that this 5, the majority was even numbers. Okay. So as I go back into history, I can really see what's going on. Okay, so for this drawing here, okay, there's more even numbers than odd numbers on the board. So this pick really doesn't matter. Okay, the one that matters to me here is that I think that this is going to be more high numbers than low numbers. Okay, so I think more numbers will land in this red area than the blue area. Okay, so as I go back to the game card here, I definitely want the 42, the 38, and the 47 to come up. Okay, so as I go back to the 50-50 picks, The next one I have is left and right. Okay, so I'm not sure about this pick here. Okay, I think that it's going to stay to the left for some reason. Okay, so but I'm not really positive. All right, and the next thing that I have is red and blue. Okay, so since there's been so many blue over here in the last 4 drawings, I'm going to guess that there's probably going to be more to the red area than the blue area. Okay, and one last thing is this is what I do have for the red ball. Okay, and this is this 21 right here, this red ball. Okay, so there's 26 red balls total. Okay, so in this column right here, a blue means that it was a low number, 1 to 13, and a red means it was a high number, 14 to 26. Okay, so as I look through this, I could see really quick what's been high and low, okay, because the red and the blue just really stick out. Okay, so over in this column here, red means that it's an odd number, and blue means that it's an even number. Okay, so for this drawing here, I just have a gut feeling that this is going to be red, and I think that this is going to be red. Okay, so I think it's going to be a high odd number. Okay, so as I go back to the game card, I'm going to scroll to the left. And with the 50-50 picks, again, I think there's going to be more to the high side. Okay, and now I think there's going to be more to the red area as well, right here. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. Strategy number 6, picking the numbers I hope will hit from groups 1 and 2. Okay, but I'm just mostly going to stick to group 2. Okay, so I'm just going to send this back to the number 1 option card here. Okay, so again, I have 15 of these option cards, and they all look the same as far as red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow. Again, it's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each option card. Okay, so I like to keep track of group 2 as a group. Okay, so there's 15 of these red areas, 15 of these blue areas. Okay, so I keep track of that in this this area right here. And that's right here. Okay, so again, this is all for group 2. So in the last drawing, in all the red areas, there was 11 hits and 4 misses. Okay, so the magic number here is 8. Okay, if there's 8 or more hits, I color this red for hot. If there's 8 or more misses, I color it blue for cold. Okay, so as I go back to the game card here, I think there's going to be lots of blue hits in group 2. Okay, so what that means, as I go back to group 2 here, is this is option card number 1, so you can see that the blue area is from the 2 down to the 68. So what I do is I go back to the game card and I see what's left on the game card in this blue area. Okay, so you can see number 1 option card, there was the 2 and the 42. Okay, so as I go back to this group 2, and you can see option card number 2, the blue area is from 9 to the 16. Okay, so here you can see that the only thing that's left is the 9, so I wrote that down right here. Okay, so I wrote down all the numbers that were for all 15 option cards. Okay, so now I'm going to go off to the next strategy. Okay, strategy number 7, picking my numbers. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll to the right. And the numbers that I'm going to go with for this drawing, are the 2, the 9, the 38, the 42, and the 47. Okay, and the reason why I'm taking these numbers, okay, is because it will give me 9 hits and 6 misses in that blue area. Okay, so as I go back to that blue, Okay, I think that this is going to be a 9 right up here. And I think that this is going to be a 6, and now we'll make it red. Okay, so as I go back over here, you can see that option card number 1 was a 2 and a 42. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and down here is 9. So that's how I came up with this number 9 right here. So you can see there's 6 misses. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so hopefully I explained that good enough. And again, the numbers that I'm going to go with are the 2, 9, 38, 42, and 47. Okay, so if you're interested in playing my game, you can go to my website, and that's www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. Okay, or you can reach out to me personally at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Again, that's decodingpowerball@gmail.com. All right, folks, I really appreciate you watching, and best of luck with your picks.